Hi yogis, welcome to your mindfulness practice for today. So today we're going to do a breathing practice. It's called Chandra Bhedana or Chandra Bhedana. I've heard it pronounced both ways. You can take your pick. It's a practice that's very similar to another breathing practice that I've posted on my YouTube channel in the mindfulness playlist. Except this one is going to works a little different pattern. A lot of the basics are the same, but the pattern is different. So I'm gonna get a little California woo-woo, hippy-dippy, new agey for a second. The way that yoga, the idea of the body is that there are energy channels or energy pathways in the body, and these are not unique to yoga. In Chinese practices, there is an understanding that there's qi that flows through certain meridian pathways. In yoga, the pathways are called nadis, and that there is kind of ultimately there are three more important or more powerful of these energy pathways, these nadis. The Sushumna nadi, which is thought to kind of correspond to the spinal cord or the center of the body. And then there is a lunar channel called the Ida nadi. And then there's a solar channel called the Pingala nadi. And these are corresponding to different hemispheres of the body. So the right hemisphere is the Pingala, the solar channel. The left is the Ida, the lunar channel. And so the place where we access these channels, or that we have influence, if that's the right word, is at the nostrils. And so when we manipulate the breath in the nostril, or we create sensation in the nostril, there's a thought that we can kind of harness the power of, or influence the power of these energy pathways in the body. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to take this kind of slightly more esoteric seeming information and see if there's anything in science that gives us a basis. And one of the things I find really interesting is that there are 4 pairs of cranial nerves that are responsible for our parasympathetic response. That's the relaxation, rest nervous system. And 3 pairs of those cranial nerves go to places in our face. Facial muscles, the eyes, the jaw, and potentially that influence of the nostrils may in fact have some basis in science. Now, I am not a scientist. I am at best a bad lover of science, but so I can't guarantee you that this practice has any sort of basis in that, but it makes me curious, knowing that the nerves for our ability to relax, the part of our nervous system that helps us relax, that those are in our face, makes me think maybe there's some validity to these practices. Now, whether they are valid or not, this is where this is a mindfulness practice. So without this next bit, it's a breath work. But with this next thing that I'm about to say, now it becomes a mindfulness practice. And again, mindfulness practices are when we pay attention. That's mindfulness. And so what we're going to do is we're going to feel our general state. This particular breath practice, Chandra Bhedana, is a practice that is designed to harness the lunar influence. And the lunar influence is thought to calm and cool and soothe us. So if we're feeling a lot of anxiety, I mean, it can be cooling in a physical way. You can certainly try that out. I've tried a number of breath practices that are designed to be cooling. I used to have a job where I worked out of doors in the summertime, and I tried them then, and I found sometimes they did make me feel cooler. Was that a trick of my mind? Who knows? But I'm willing to accept that there might be some power there. And so this is where, to me, this is where yoga is really important. Is yoga is always and has always been an experiential learning practice. It is designed to be learned not by dogma, not by someone telling you the truth, but by you going in and finding the truth for yourself. And that's what I think why it's so powerful and so important, is that we are not just following someone else's guidelines. We're really like, take the information, check it out for yourself, and then make a decision. And that's what I'm asking for you for these practices, is that you try them, see if they have an influence on you that feels like it goes in a way that is useful. And if it's useful, keep it. And if it's not, leave it. It's a yoga buffet, as one of my favorite yoga teachers likes to say. So we're going to do this mudra with the hands. You're going to take your peace sign fingers and put them together, and they can either rest on your forehead or they can rest on your palm. You can curl them in like that. The thumb is going to rest on one nostril, and I'm right-handed, and so my thumb is going to wind up resting on my right nostril. And then we're going to take the ring finger to the left nostril, and I do this. I put my ring finger and my pinky together so that they're both in one thing, okay? So this breath is designed to cool us down and to calm us down, not necessarily just physically, although that may happen too, but emotionally and mentally. It's a great practice when we're feeling that kind of prickly electricity of anxiety. And so it's a way of sort of allowing ourselves to get, it's almost like, you know, stroking an animal's fur the right way. It's smoothing it down. So it's designed to smooth us down. So the first thing to do is just to check in with yourself. Ooh. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if there's tension around your jaw or in your eyes, in the shoulders. Notice if there's that kind of, you know, sometimes I have been prone to panic and anxiety for many years. And one of the ways in my adult life that I've been able to largely work with that is through these yoga practices. So I know that kind of nodding sort of clench and hold in my deep belly that I feel when I'm feeling anxious and feeling out of sorts. So tune in and just see if any of that is present for you. It's possible that it's not. Just what is what is, right? And then you'll see what happens. So then we're going to do a practice with the breath. And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to inhale through the lunar channel, the left nostril, and exhale through the right. And we're going to always inhale through the left and always exhale through the right, so that we're moving this kind of, imagine that as you inhale through your left nostril, you're bringing in this kind of positive, just calming or soothing energy. And as you exhale through the right, let go of the anxiety, let go of the stress, let go of the fear. Things are going to be there later, and we're going to deal with things that happen in life as they occur. But usually, for me anyway, anxiety is about a fear of the unknown or an unknown future or imagined circumstances that aren't actually happening in the moment. In the moment, I'm sitting here looking at my phone, chatting with imaginary people that are out there in the world. I hope that's you. In a beanbag chair. I'm comfortable, I'm safe, but my nervous system doesn't always know that. And so that's where this practice is powerful, I think, is that it allows us to cool down. Now, we're going to try it for ourselves and find out. So you're going to inhale through the left, exhale through the right. Before you do anything, if you need to, stop this video and just clear out your nostrils. Make sure you can breathe through both sides clearly. If you have a nostril that's blocked, put this off to the side for a little bit and just breathe in through both nostrils and exhale slowly out. And you can do that, and that's going to be helpful no matter what. If you've got both nostrils clear and your hands are clean, I cleaned mine before we got started, then do this mudra. So you're going to put your finger, ring finger and your pinky together. You're going to take your thumb. You're going to take a moment, take a big breath. And then either resting your fingers on your head or resting your fingers in your palm, exhale all the air out. So we're going to inhale through the left. So we're going to close the right one off. Inhale through your left nostril. And then close that, open up your right one, exhale. Just take your breath, take the time, let the breath do its thing. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Okay. Inhale through the left. Feel that soothing, cooling energy. Exhale through the right. Imagine yourself letting go of this anxiety, letting go of the stress, letting go of anything that's bothering you. Inhale. And exhale. And we're going to do about 4 more rounds, 5 more rounds. Don't struggle with this and don't be too forceful. Let it come. The breath is slow. Let it be slow. Two more. Now, when you're done with that breath, just take a big breath. Let go with an exhale. And then come back to checking in with yourself. Like, how do you feel now? And when I sat down here, I felt just like this little tingling tension in my belly that I often feel right before I go to bed. I can keep myself busy during the day, and usually if I'm gonna get anxiety, it's gonna happen just about that time where I'm ready to go to bed, so that it keeps me awake. But this has kind of unwound that for me a little bit. And one of the things I find really interesting about this practice is that sometimes I would swear to you that behind my eye, I can feel coldness or coolness, almost like I've iced up my left eye. So whatever you feel, it's valid. So the mindfulness part of this is notice how you feel, do the practice, notice the impact, and then decide for yourself, is this a practice that is working for me and that helps me? Then keep this practice, put it in your mindfulness toolbox. Thanks for joining me once again. If you're joining me for all 30 days of mindfulness, I'm grateful to have you. And if this is your only task, mindful task today, that's fine too. Namaste.